unemployment, poverty, very few social amenities for the youth all over the world, and so on. So I want to begin with you on this. How do you look at this day, International Youth Day?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mwambo. I want to add from the comment of one of my co-panelists saying, strength of the youth movement is a movement found by no other person by Beth S.K. Kufuor, my humble self. And in that dimension, he has a philosophy, and the philosophy is definitely against aging dominance.
Meritocracy.
Yeah. So anyone youth, wherever you found yourself in Africa or in Cameroon, more particularly, who shared that philosophy with me, automatically you are a member of the strength of the youth movement, then maybe not a registered member, but you are a member if you share that ideology.
Directly and indirectly.
Yes. So in any time I speak, I am talking of everyone who shares the idea that aging governance in Cameroon and Africa is bad. So saying that and clearing the air, I want to say, Mr. Mwambu, this is the week of the youth. This day precisely, youth are celebrated internationally. If we want to ask in Africa, I want to say African youth should not even celebrate this Youth Day. Why? Because especially Cameroonian youth, they don't have any reason to celebrate because they are one of the most dominant youth I can classify when it comes to Africa and world in general. It is the youth who are so inactive in taking their destiny and decisions into their hands. We are in a generation of the 21st century that enlightenment, we are more enlightened than our peers before us now, which means we should have different ways of doing things. But we see youth that are more busy in their social comments, in their comedies, and the rest. Those are necessary for economic building, but it must be crafted in such a way that it has to push life forward and changing the world or the country for the betterment of each and every person. Cameroon is not moving forward because I want to say even the Cameroonian youth are not doing much of what they ought to be doing. They are doing at least 2% of general what they should be doing at the moment to change Cameroon. So it is not only the aspect of blaming the government, but it's the aspect of the youth to take this day as a day of meditation, a day of self-reflection. Like Socrates once said, an unexamined life is not worth living. The youth today should examine their life. I read under a social media platform that one of a very good writer and a political, he wrote that before 30s, there were some characteristics he gave that before you reach 30s, you should have struggled to see that you find yourself within those spots. But I want to say that what if you have to talk to other Cameroonian youth, what have you been doing when it comes to contribution of your nation? It comes to contribution. Some are just based on the blame game. We want to say the youth should desist themselves from the blame game. They should start carrying out action that is going to be transformative to themselves first, to their immediate community, and to the general population. Again, in this, I want to applaud all the youth who have been taking time in aspect of creativity. I want to appreciate somebody like Buchum Samuel, who has been in the forefront of advocating for peace for Cameroon and in the international scene. I want to appreciate people like Noel Lyonga, who have pushed volunteerism to a very high height, making you to know that serving the community or serving humanity is one of the given purpose we were made for. Those are people I really want to say, I want to appreciate them for their work towards the community. Those are few I may mention. I want to appreciate people like Mr. Tambe Henry, a PhD fellow. These are people who have given reasons why some of us can stand and sit and celebrate youth because why they are pushing the nation forward. Like now he is going with the National Youth Award for Outstanding Cameroonians, which is going to be held in Douala. We want to see that he has not only ended, he has schools that is struggling to train young Cameroonians to pick up talent that can benefit them, benefit their community, benefit their media, and fetch them money. We want to see that Cameroonian youth should take this initiative if we have to build the nation. We must not only criticize these aging people, but criticizing them, we should have something better to replace them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Anjomo Siri, today is International Youth Day, every 12th of August. What's your take with what is happening amongst the youth? Some people say no employment, few social amenities, poverty, and so on. Is it like the youths are so dormant, or maybe they are just being suppressed?
Not really, Mambo. In the same way of seizing this opportunity because you not allow me to talk for long. So congratulate some young people who are outstanding themselves. I'll start with the proprietor of this media house, Mr. Chamba Quine, who is a very young man who has made sure that he give us a platform like this to express ourselves. And just like us, so many other young people are going to pass here. Mr. Mwambo, we want to congratulate people like you. Selflessly, you offer this service to the public, and nobody pays you for what you do, but you have deliberately given. Doctor here on the platform, rarely in my life was I able to see somebody who is attached a bit to the government and that can give this kind of service he gives in a very critical tone. I think these are people we should celebrate. One celebrates the director of this program, which is a woman. Exceptionally, most people don't know that women can actually broadcast images like the one that we are living now. It is done by a woman. And so, those who are following us, I know my woman can be following back home, and she know how I always challenge her. Women like you are out there doing tremendous things to change humanity. I know you are doing your own quarter, but more needs to be done. And I want to frown. I want to really frown to prostitutes. Okay? It's so cheap. As much as we need them in the society, we think that they can do better.
Okay, we need them.
Yeah, we need.
Okay.
We think that they can do better.
Not as prostitutes.
We want to frown as
Yes.
scammers that are using shortcuts.
Okay.
Okay? It's because of that most of those beautiful girls don't look at us. Okay? They have deviated the course of life. And that is not fair. And sometimes when we see the way they end, we don't wish it for them. But the bringing of it has actually deviated the course or focus of the year. I want to celebrate those other young people who are following us that I might not know their name. I think together, I don't think Cameroonian youth are lazy. I follow the report, and I want to call on young people to follow that report given by the youth envoy of the African Union in partnership with the Institution of Leadership of Africa. In that report, they spotted different countries in Africa: Namibia, Nigeria, Chad, South Africa, Cameroon, and they were zooming in the role of young people in those various economies. And you know, recently so many countries are there to put young people under 35 at a strategic position. I want to talk of Chad. I want to talk of Gabon. I want to talk of Namibia itself. And so these countries have spot. You go in those countries, you see ministers that are at 29. I want to talk of Republic of Congo, where you have governors that are 29, 28. Mr. Biya himself took power when he was 27. Okay? And we want to seize this opportunity to tell young people, let nobody ever tell you that you are young, because truly you are not. You are only young based on the kind of people that surround you. If they give you the impression that you are young, you'll be young forever. I've seen people at 40 claiming that bow and overstart. Or they behave like children of 16. In as much as I met children of 25 that men, I'm challenged by their charisma. So
By the young boy who came up with the aeroplane with the...
Well, that one, I mean, people who can talk like this, and I panic beside them, they are 22, 25. So the content of your age truly is in what you can do and not the number of years that is.
Okay. Dr. Busi, you're a young PhD holder, and maybe you have some young people around you. What's your take about the International Youth Day and the situation in Cameroon especially?
The International Youth Day this year was tailored as youth. The theme was youth engagement for global action. Youth engagement for global action, meaning that you must be engaged in your community, the nation, and the world at large. First of all, Mr. Mwambo, I want to say that community service and volunteerism is what builds the capacity, the mind of the youths, and better their future and create them a positive trajectory, a positive pathway. If you are a youth, you cannot volunteer, then you cannot be a country. I want to first of all start by appreciating my co-panelists here on stage, Mr. Njomo Siri. Since I came to know him 3 years or 4 years back as an advocate for the youth, an advocate for peace, because we started as youth leaders, youth advocates, before we emerged into politics. I want to say that I appreciate his resilience, because I like people who are consistent in life and people who have vision for the future. And I want to say that he has been very consistent. And I like people who visualize their future and they never give up. When they fall, they rise. They rise, they fall, they rise. So you must know your strength and your weaknesses if you want to rise. And I want to appreciate Sir Barrister Kufuor as an advocate and the Kufuor Foundation for fighting against drug abuse, because I believe that as a psychologist, issues of drugs affects the cognition, the mental health of people, and makes people to be depressed and make people to want to form what we call group dynamics, where I see youngsters wanting to conform to group norms, wanting to belong into a particular social group, and when you are not part of them, you are rejected. And when you are part of them, they engage into deviant behavior that helps to keep our society from growing, especially taking tramadol. And tramadol has become an issue of the day that we must fight against it. And we must fight against illicit drugs in our countries. And I want to appreciate you, Mr. Moderator, for engaging into a lot of community service. I want to appreciate the House of CMTV for engaging into nation building, because I think that the media is the fourth arm of government. And I want to also appreciate my primary school children, because I started as a primary school teacher. I want to say that they are the leaders of tomorrow, and they must be engaging, they must be hardworking. I want to show them the case of Malala. Malala is a little child in the Arab countries. Malala stood at the age of 12 and advocated for education in her country. And I want to say that those in the Northwest and Southwest, education is the key. Education is what builds the mind. No gun will be Cameroon, but education will be Cameroon. Allow our children to go to school while we keep fighting a genuine cause of the Anglophone crisis. Education is a power. I might not have money, but education will give you integrity. Education can make you shape your community. It is not guns that shape community. And during this day of the celebration, they were saying that youths have to fight against a political crisis, and they have to mitigate issues of deficit in democracy, meaning that all youth must be engaged in politics and fight against deficit in democracy. We have seen African countries where there's war, and youth should not be fighting with guns. They should be there to bring peace in their countries. And I want to say that I also want to talk on the youth of the University of Buea. As a teacher in the University of Buea, I want to say that the University of Buea students should inculcate positive values. Students should inculcate positive morals. Students should be able to build their country. Laziness will not be Cameroon. Don't only come to write CAs and exams when you don't attend lectures. You should be self-disciplined. You should be proactive. You should be hardworking. You should be optimistic. You should have hope. You should be agentic, have agency in you. You should be resilient. You should set life goals and keep on working towards pathway of positive trajectories. Because even the celebration of today of the International Youth Day, they were saying that the youth needs to be resilient. They need to be mentally resilient. When you don't give up in life, when you fall, you rise, because life is so tough. There's a book I've read by one American politician who stood the race of the American president with Donald Trump, or was it with Barack? No, with Donald Trump. He said, think big. So our youth must try to think big. When you think big in life, you navigate life difficulties, you overcome life difficulties. So you must always dream big and think big to overcome our difficult times in life. And I want to end by saying that they were also talking of the Sustainable Development Goals. And Mr. Moderator, the Sustainable Development Goal or agenda have just 10 years. And I ask myself as a political analyst, can we achieve the Sustainable Development Goal, about 17 goals, in 10 years, when politically Africa is still in war, Africa is still in poverty, African children are living below the poverty line, African roads are bad, African healthcare is poor, African cannot live a good life, Africans are living in difficulty, poor social amenities, global challenges. We have a lot of global challenges in Africa, environmental hazards. We saw the case of Cameroon, landslides, and the one in Limbe. Africans are suffering. In 10 years, are we going to achieve these sustainable development goals? Yes, we can only achieve if there is political goodwill, if there is a goodwill, if the youth are engaged in politics, if governance is changing, when there is no gerontocracy. We saw the case of Ivory Coast, where an old president said he will not run again, and after some time he declares candidature. That is not the kind of that's not the kind of sustainable development goals Africa will achieve. So I want to end by saying here that they were also talking of issue of female genital mutilation. They were also talking of issue of sexual and reproductive health. And I think that these are issues that are very important for the woman, the girl child, because the girl child is vulnerable. We have seen cases of rape in Africa. We have seen cases where young girls are being raped during war. So these are issues that we say that our women and our girl children are vulnerable, and we have to work on their sexual and reproductive health system. There are some cultures where we still practice female genital mutilation, and we have to stop all those poor habits. Okay. And I'm ending by saying that they were talking of gender equality, and every woman, there must be a balance in our governance system where women also have a part to play in nation building. Women also have a part to play in the politics of their country. We have seen cases whereby demographically women are higher in institutions and in education, but they are not given the opportunities to lead. So we have to fight for gender equality, and we also have to fight against racial justice. We could see the case of America, whereby a black American was killed because of a few coins. So these are issues that they were decrying. So the youths have a role to play in nation building. Youth must be we should see use of 40s in the presidency. We should see use of 35 years or 30 years in the presidency. When I say 40 years, I'm contextualizing it in the case of Cameroon. If we see somebody of an age 40 at the presidency, it's a good thing because it's mentally, psychologically, he reasoned very well. So we want to see youth of about 20, 25 in ministries as directors. Why tomorrow, if I'm happy to see Mr. Njomo Siri tomorrow as a member of government at his late 30, we'll be happy. If I'm seeing Kufo tomorrow as a member of government in his early 30s, it's a good thing. So we must see the youth being engaged in governance, and they must avoid antisocial behavior like taking tramadol, like engaging into scamming. Okay. Cyber crime is so high in Boya. Use of Boya, you must stop cyber criminality. That is not the Cameroon we want to build.
Okay. At this time, maybe two of you use 30 seconds each for us to conclude on this topic. He has given a lot on what you should do, but I want to begin with 30 seconds at the time where we are celebrating 12th of August, celebrating International Youth Day, when poverty, unemployment is very high. Street demonstration, they always use the youths for this street demonstration. We can recall what happened in Limbe, where they were giving 2,000 francs, 5,000 francs to go on the streets, risking their lives. What should be done to avoid all this?
Wambo, with the present dispensation of the country, I want to be sincere that we are into a system that is using poverty as a political tool. Cameroonians are trapped into what I call the poverty trap system. Being that the government has all mechanisms that it can alleviate poverty, but since poverty is being used as a manipulative tool, the government is so reluctant in fighting it. The government has different mechanisms it can put in place that is going to fight poverty. Well, first of all, making the youth to be so totally dependent on the government, dependent on so few members who have had some things to do, automatically make them vulnerable and frustrated. And a frustrated man is vulnerable to deception and manipulation. That is why you could see the youth marching out, and later on they can come back to say they are apologizing. What took you out in the first place, and what are you apologizing about? That is to tell you the vulnerability that the government has positioned young people. Today you see a young man driving a car, reaching around the police stop, they will stop you and they ask you, do you own this car? And you begin to ask yourself, what kind of question is this? It's because why? The country has made it in such a way that only people from 50 years and above can own even a starlet car. Yeah. So if you are riding a jeep when you are late 20s and you are stopped around the police post, they begin to wonder.
They find it strange.
They find it so strange. That is why, because the government is using poverty as a tool. That does not only happen because even the civil servants, the government is using poverty as a tool to control them. There are many people who cannot express the free will of their conscience. Why? Because they are living from peanut from the government, and most of the time, the extra wage they get from the government is what comes through allowances. And now, poverty has to continue because bribing and corruption will always be in a system that is poverty trap. People are not being paid that can even take care of their basic necessities. It is difficult in Cameroon because to prove that with you, I want to cite a fact. Many civil servants in Cameroon abandon their jobs to travel abroad. That's to tell you that Cameroon government is using the poverty trap situation as a political tool to manipulate the people. When the government will break out from that and can put good standing wages for people, can reward people according to merit and according to their brain. To be very candid, poverty is the most easiest thing that can be fought and defeated. But with the Cameroon that we are today, Vision 2035 may be the hope if it will come to pass.
Before you conclude, let me just read this. Good evening to you guys. I wish to extend my greetings and appreciation to God Almighty for inspiring Mr. Njomo Siri, Dr. Busi, Mr. Item Armstrong, Mr. Solomon Ate, and the barrister on board, including you, the moderator. I'm always moved by your talks. It's Stanley from, is it Bamenda Northwest? Okay, thank you so very much for appreciating us. Maybe a 30 seconds of concluding on this topic.
Yes.
That will take the last topic.
Mr. Mwabo, let's start by congratulating that elected viewer, because those who finally have us and maintain the program are truly elected sons of Zion and daughter and princesses of the kingdom. To say that your message is a boost to us. People always ask us, what do you gain to go every 3 times a week? As if it was an assignment. We tell them that one day, either in 40 years to come, or tomorrow when my children will be growing, when they come and say my name is Njomo, maybe you can remember me and help them. So that is what we are doing here. And we are rounding up this talk on the International Youth Day to call young people to action. You need not to take permission before you act. Behind this camera is a young man I respect, Mr. Fuzo. He's always very quiet, dedicated, and those are the behavior we are asking young people to emulate. I have an office here in Boya. I work with young people. When you come to work with me, all I tell you is the Siri you admire today is a product of so many years of resilience, of patience, and I'm still on my way up. My family-in-law up to today have not accepted me, but I'm working hard so that one day they should accept me. I'm talking to young people who think that life is easy. You need not to ask people permission to like you or love you. Prove to them that they have a reason to love you. Because see what? When you have genuine money, when you work hard and make it in life, everybody is bound to respect you. They don't only respect your money, but they also respect your voice. And I'm calling young people to shun from easy life. Today we are pointing fingers on scammers, but 4 other fingers are looking back to us. Because in our way, we are also scamming. You are scamming electricity. You are scamming water. You are scamming clothes. You are scamming in your way. And all those things are the things refraining the country to move forward. Noble Williams, consciousness comes from a way of living. You must choose to live within your means. My mother is following this program. And my challenge with her sometimes could be that she has been a civil servant, but I cannot see what to write home. And so I decided I will not go into public service. To tell you that what Sir Kufo was talking about, the poverty trap, also exists in the public service. Most people think that it's getting to the public service that is truly the way forward about life. But that's not true. People must find their way. People must leverage on their inborn talents. Young people are supposed to keep asking themselves, what is my call in this life? And they start working towards their path, because truly there is a career growth plan for everybody. And if you keep focused on your own small portion, don't focus ask yourself, what is the other person gaining? Tell yourself, God, what is the next step after this job I'm doing? God will always show you a way. And that is my call for the young people.
Okay, I like the way you people have concluded. I'll take a few messages, but before I take, let me just introduce the last topic for tonight that we are going to take briefly. We shall be talking on the, we are looking at the Senate, we are looking at the city councils, we are looking at the so many commissions that we have in Cameroon, even dual functions in Cameroon. The question we are asking tonight, are all these assets or liabilities? Because in Cameroon now have so many who have dual functions, and there are people who are very unemployed. We also have the problem of city councillors or city mayors, city mayors. And so some people say it's not necessary, let the mayor take control of their areas. And there's so many commissions we have. Some people say it's not necessary, and maybe the Senate. So is it a kind of asset or liability to us? Let me take this one. I say, good evening in the studio. I'm Destiny from Tico. The excesses perpetrated by both the state actors and non-state actors are just unbearable to the common man in the street. Nobody is safe in any of these two regions. Just the other day, I was passing at my 1B, that is DB should be the military, called and brutalized me, accusing me of staring at Amoka. We just like foreigners in this country, and man, in this street, nobody is safe in any of these two regions. Okay, that is from one of our viewers, Destiny from Tico, who want to say that is the repercussion, that is the outcome of a war zone. Please don't stir the Amoka again.
No, Mr. Moderator.
Yes, please.
Also say that
10 seconds, please.
we need political education.
Okay.
There's no way you can. I earlier talked here on issue of trust building. The military must come down also to build trust building with the community, because they spend their lifetime with the people. And today, I was entering where I live. Today, Mr. Moderator, I saw a military man entered our gate. As he was entering this evening, before I came here in the studio, because I've seen something that's normal in Moliko. You see youngsters gathering with military people and they are checking their phones. That is the most common issue now in Moliko with gendarmes and police. On passing by in the Carrefour, you see youngsters, I don't know what they are discussing with military people on daily basis. Our youth also have to be careful with their lifestyles. They have to be careful. They have sent them here to go to school. There's some of them they indulge into activities that are not called for. I saw the military man entering into my municipality. I did not panic. So I'm advising some of you, when these military people are separate, don't always panic. Because when you panic, they work on your psychology. They work on your mind. As the man came towards me, he saw me, the way I behaved, he saw me like a responsible person. He greeted me and he left. So you don't have to panic. If you believe in yourself, you know who you are. A military man will not hurt you. Except we should also understand that their mindset also is not stable. They might be coming back from a war zone and psychologically think about your self-defense. When you see them, avoid them.
Run.
Change your route. Don't run, but be smart.
Avoid any.
Be smart. You have to be psychologically smart. Don't run. But know that when you panic, they use the panic against you. Okay. When you panic, military people use that against you. But when you are psychologically stable, they talk, you answer genuinely, they will leave you and go after some time.
Okay.
Well, there are several cases that we used to leave the TV house when the crisis was still hot on Ghost Town. Yeah. There was a 10-day lockdown. I and panelist Kedia, the military car bombed at us. We stopped, we showed our ID card, we presented ourselves, we talked with them, we left. They said that if they enter Dirty South on coming back, if they meet us, that means we're not the same kind of person that met us here. Okay. So don't always panic when you meet them.
Okay, well, we'll get to the last topic that we'll have to talk briefly on. This one says, since 2016, you have been talking on killing, and tomorrow you'll still be talking of the same thing. Please stop talking of killing and go for solution. I'm David from Moliko,
Let me answer, David.
from Moliko Boya. Maybe this person is talking of, we have talked too much on this killing. Maybe it's worrying the person a lot.
thank
So
you.
Give us an
the person
opportunity
needs.
for a second to give solutions.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Always
okay.
given.
Thank
Please,
you.
10 seconds, please.
Thank you very much, David, for that contribution. I want to believe that you are a young man like us sitting here, Mr. David, and I want to say that solution into this issue is not in the hand of a particular person. We all should be solution finders. And I want to tell you that one of the way of seeking solution is by talking and pressing hard on the powers that be to take decision. And if you feel like what the talking doesn't mean a lot, I want to surprise you that a lot of reforms have gone on in
Yeah.
this country
Because
because
of
we
us.
the young
Yeah.
people have
Are
been talking, Mr.
talking.
David. Mr. David, I will never pick gun. Violence, it will not even be my last resort. Talking and going for meetings and making my voice heard, granting interviews to newspaper will be one of the ways I will advocate for this. Like the strength of the youth movement, Mr. David, if you are very much interested, we'll give you an invite. Let's do a march to the governor's officer. You can meet him one-on-one. And maybe you tell him you are pointing directly. We want to say you are also capable, reasonable, and of age. If you can text, you can read, it means you also need solution to solve this problem. Thank you.
Yes,
Just
10
to,
seconds.
just add to Mr. Dave to say that if you undermine the power of talking, then try to have a son or have a wife at home and see whether talk does not have power. The more she'll be talking, the more you will finally have to settle her to move free. Mambo, we grew up in traditionally family setup. We saw our mothers when they have decided that something must happen in the house. They will talk, will talk, will talk, will talk. Go and invite even neighbor, come together, they'll be chatting about it. You the man, you will not like your name to be everywhere in the quarter. Okay? So never minimize what we do here. And that is why we are so regular. Most people don't understand. You think we are wasting our time, but at the same time you think you are protecting now. It can be real. See, I've seen friends naively giving 500,000 to a normal policeman for things that they don't know. I'm telling you, when you don't know the law, man, you are a dead corpse. I've seen authorities go on media, they cannot talk. It's just I cannot call names now because I'm someone I follow the news regularly, both local and international news. You see regional delegates, they invite them for platform to talk about their own subject matter. They cannot talk. And it's terrible. And you think that we are wasting our time here, man?
Dr. Busi,
Oh,
you
I want
should be a counselor.
I want to end by saying that as a psychologist and a therapist and a clinician and a parent, because I'm a parent to my students, I want to say that no one can be minimized. Everyone has a say in solving the Anglophone crisis. Even our little boy behind the camera, he has a say in solving the Anglophone crisis, because we can see our children that have not gone to school, and there are children that at the age of let me say at the age of 4, they already know what is a gun. They can solve the Anglophone crisis. So I'm saying that our voices are the voices of the voiceless. Our voices, David, our voices are the voices of the voiceless. Our voices are the voices of the vulnerable. I was opportune when the Prime Minister came here for a speech talk. Barrister Kufuor was there. We were there at the Mountain Hotel. We talked to the Prime Minister. Though our little voices could not create that impact at that time, but we sent something. We needed peace. And when I was greeting the PM, I said, Your Excellency, we need peace. He said, peace will come. Though the peace have not yet come, but I think that peace is a process. And let all of us keep on daily basis advocating for peace and justice. And one day, peace and justice will come in Cameroon.
Okay, gentlemen, the administration has just given us a few minutes, maybe 15 minutes, giving the late start. And I want us to take the last topic here. We shall be talking on the fact that some people feel like the Senate, to talk of sitting